Today I want to take a few minutes to look back on the 2022 real estate market in the Greater Moncton area. And stick around until the end to hear my predictions for 2023. So once again, we were in interesting times. House prices continue to reach all-time highs for our area through the first half of the year especially. But on the flip side of that, so did inflation. It hit a 40-year high over the summer. That, in turn, as you probably know, led to the Bank of Canada implementing not one, not two, but 7 consecutive interest rate hikes over the course of the year to try and rein in the inflation. And as we'll talk about in a few minutes, it did seem to, at least in part, help cool the market around the halfway point of the year. When it comes to real estate, people tend to ask 2 questions. How's the market and how are the prices? Prices are a significant factor because they can affect both the affordability and or the profitability of buying and selling properties. If you're a seller, the value of your property is a crucial part of the equation when it comes time to deciding whether or not you are going to sell. Buyers, on the other hand, look at prices to gauge their budget and monthly mortgage payments. So if we dive into the numbers and first look at detached homes, the year-to-date average sale price by month, meaning each month it's updated for the year up to that point, continued its upward trend right up until the month of May, where it peaked at a little over 370,000. From there, it started dropping each month, although in relatively small increments. We still finished the year at over $348,000, which is almost $50,000 higher than the year-end price for 2021. A total of 3,686 detached homes were listed in 2022, while 2,610 were sold. In 2021, 3,702 were listed, while 3,325 were sold. So even though the number of homes listed in 2022 was very similar to 21, like within 16, the number of homes sold took a substantial hit in 2022. That to me is an indicator that supply is catching up to the demand and things are becoming more balanced. Semi-detached homes followed a similar pattern, with the average year-to-date price increasing each month from the beginning of the year until it maxed out in July. From there on, with the exception of September, it dropped slightly each month. It still ended the year at 323,697. So here again, we're still well over last year's average of 264,461. That's almost a difference of $60,000. So something I found interesting was the number of semis listed in 2022 dropped to 559 from 663 in 2021. So logically thinking, the supply dropped, so you would think the prices would have at the very least maintained or continued to slightly rise beyond July rather than decline like they did. But if we look at the number of units sold, that number dropped from 624 last year to 446 this year. So that drop in demand alongside the decrease in listings kept everything pretty well in line. In 2020 and 2021, people looked to semi-detached homes as a viable option just so they could get into the market at all. It seems that may have slowed a little, but I do wonder if the impact of higher interest rates will reignite that trend. Hopefully we've seen the last of the increases, but at the very least, I think it's safe to say they'll remain in the current range at least through 2023. When it came to out-of-province buyers in 2022, there's no up-to-date data on that, but looking at my own personal business in 2022, 48% of the transactions I was involved in were with buyers from provinces west of us. So that is pretty well the Greater Moncton real estate market in a nutshell for 2022. And as promised, here is my prediction for 2023. Maybe we'll go back and review this in January of 2024 to see how close I came. If you're interested in checking out my 2022 predictions I made at the beginning of this year, I'll put a link up here or down in the description somewhere. I went back and reviewed it. I wasn't perfect, but I think I came pretty close. So overall, I think the real estate market in the Greater Moncton area is going to continue to be healthy. We're still facing a housing shortage, and we're still seeing lots of new people, be it from other provinces or other countries, making New Brunswick and our area their new home. Already, my first closing of 2023 involved out-of-province buyers, and I'm still working with several other out-of-province buyers as we speak. The difference I'm seeing from a year ago with those buyers is that it's not happening as quickly as it did just a short year ago because their local markets have softened and it's taking a little longer to sell their current homes. So as I said, I do think our market will continue to be healthy, but having said that, I strongly believe we're going to continue to become a more balanced market. If you're looking at it from a seller's perspective, this may not be what you want to hear, but if you're looking at it from a buyer's perspective, you're probably thinking this is great news. The way I think about it is, in a balanced market, neither side has a significant advantage, but that also means neither side is at a significant disadvantage. So you get a bit more stability and predictability. And when we're talking about these large types of investments, I think there's worse things than predictability and stability.